Good morning. Okay. So, I am just waiting for Lee to pop on. Ah! How'd that happen? Of course, something like this will happen. I'm just trying to get in the comments. Hey! I figured out how to get rid of this Marvel thing that just popped on my head. Okay, I'm good. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good. How are you? Good
Good.
morning.
Did you see my Marvel thing? I'm like, what is happening?
I was like, is she playing a game? Something's going on up there.
Oh, the buttons. I have a private account that I practice the new like stuff that comes out without anybody like watching me. So I was
That's
playing
actually
around with the
really
buttons. The
smart.
buttons are moved for business accounts.
Ah,
Yeah.
you know what? That's good advice to have another account so you can play, so that when you post things
Yeah.
that you don't know what you're doing, you don't make a fool of yourself.
Right? Like I just did.
Nah, you're fine.
So for those of you who don't know, this is one of my best friends of like 21 years, Leanne Murray from Intuition. You can probably tell more about yourself better than I can.
Not that much to say. I mean, you've known me basically my whole career, the good and the bad of it. But yeah, I guess I am literally just entering my 17th year of photographing. That I had to think about it, and it kind of scared me a little.
Crazy.
I know. It's amazing, and I'm very excited. Well, I mean, I would be if I could actually launch any of my campaigns. But
Yeah, COVID is kind of putting a damper on everything right now.
it is. But the people have been amazing about everything, so I really can't complain.
That's true. Like
From to marketers, everybody has been so understanding. So not,
with the
not
lock,
going to complain.
for those of you who don't know, we're in Ontario, so we're in a state of emergency right now. So we're literally on like we're not. It's not like house arrest, but like they even Amber Alert notices yesterday of people to stay home unless you're going to the grocery store or stuff. So everybody
That's what they call it, right? It's a stay home order, is what they call it.
stay home order. But my Amber Alert thing went off. I don't know. Is it called an Amber Alert when it's not for? Uh,
I don't know, but yeah, it was really, really loud and scared my cats.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Um, I'm just trying to figure out this all the. Sorry guys, this is like my first time doing Instagram Live in years, so I'm just trying to figure out all the buttons again to make sure that we don't do anything technically.
That's literally my first time. So before we got started, I sent Jen a message and said, "How do I get in?"
I see you. Okay, so let's get into it. What's going on with you? What's new? I know you're stuck in a house, but anything new?
Well, see, yeah, I mean, I am stuck in my apartment, but I don't actually mind it because downtime is good for everyone. And learning yoga over the last couple of years and really getting into that has actually totally chilled me out on that stuff. So, well, I miss all the social and I miss, the people. Some of my clients, like I had an amazing chat with one of my clients last week,
Mhm.
and we must have had a FaceTime for like over an hour,
Yeah.
and realized she's coming up to her 10th wedding anniversary, and the journey that we've taken together. And honestly, it has totally changed my business being a part of that life story for people. I met her when I did her engagement session,
Yeah.
and then everything since then, weddings, maternity, newborn, family photos, cake smashes, like we do yearly pictures. And now we're like COVID friends. So she, reached out to me just so we could have a coffee chat, basically, because, those people become your family. And I mean,
Exactly.
that you're my family.
Yeah, I'm literally asking Lee what's new, but we've literally been talking every day this week. So.
I know it feels a little bizarre, but we didn't really talk about the stuff we were going to talk about here. We just talked about everything else.
I was trying to reserve those questions too.
Don't ask too many questions.
No, I was actually, I got hooked on this new show this week. I don't know if any of you have watched it. It's called Zoey's Playlist. So bloody funny. So funny. And I had never watched up until now. Like, I follow Skylar Aston on Instagram, and I see him post clips all the time, but I've never actually taken the time to sit down and watch the show. So
she's desperate for me to watch it.
I watched the pilot episode the other day back from season 1, and I got so hooked because it's just, the concept of it is so cool, that I ended up watching then season 2, episode 2 that evening after I watched the pilot, and then I binged watched the rest of the 13 episodes the day after. Yeah.
Okay, so it's binge worthy, everyone, if you're looking for a new show.
Zoey's Playlist. If you haven't seen it yet, highly recommend checking it out. It's a really good show.
I'm a little surprised at myself because I don't have television, like I don't have cable.
Mm-hmm.
It's super expensive and you can find everything online anyway. And so I was going through Netflix, and you're looking for that new thing because you're stuck at home and have a lot of extra time on your hands.
Yeah.
And I got hooked on Jane the Virgin. And over the last, I'd say 3 weeks, I've watched all 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like, it's ridiculous. It's totally out there, and this magical world of love and mobsters and everything. It's got literally, they call it a telenovela because that's the Latin America like soap opera basically. Yeah. But it's this like larger than life insane show, but it also draws so much attention to the Latina community and how beautiful all of their traditions are, and like how tightly knit their families is. It was so beautiful. I loved it. And they even do, like, just before their final finale of the show, they do like conversation episode with all of the the actors and everything, and they just, it was amazing how much of a family they became. Yeah. But they also let you in on all their cultural backgrounds, and that was so cool for me.
Yeah, I watched the first season of Jane the Virgin with Lex, my daughter, Lexi. She's my oldest daughter. But I didn't get to see the rest of it, so I should. Yeah.
Oh, go for it. It's outrageous, and it's a train wreck you can't stop watching. Yeah. Couldn't help it.
No, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV because I'm usually stuck watching like Tyler's shows. My for those,
fair enough.
All my kids' names. My 4-year-old, I'm usually stuck watching his shows all day. But I have 3 right now that I'm hooked on: Zoey's Playlist, NCIS LA, and CLT. Oh, those are my 3 that I go to.
Well, you are getting into the action film situation.
That is true. We disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know if you know much about Jen's background. I'm sure all of you do, but I've known her for so long that I have seen literally everything, and it's amazing the journey you've had. Like, you went from starting your own business and growing that, and then deciding that you wanted a change, and you've been patisserie chef, you cake decorating, you have literally like been a marketer for people. Now you're an actress, and you also work the community for those people too. So you build on what every situation you're in, you always build and grow on it. It's amazing to watch. It's actually very inspiring.
Well, I think it happens for a reason. Like, I wanted to be a doctor all through school, right? My Uncle Ross is a doctor, and I got really hooked on this fact in school that I really wanted to be a doctor, and specifically a neonatal surgeon, which is those surgeons that go in and actually work on the babies while they're still inside the mom's tummy. But then things kind of took a 180 after I got out of high school, when a hobby started to turn into a career, because I started decorating lessons for a hobby. And all of a sudden I was launching a business instead of going to med school. So like I still, along the way, I've taken those medical courses. I've taken like pharmacology and psychology. Right now I'm taking neuroscience online through edX, through Harvard. Like, so I keep taking medical courses because it's still in me that I still love medicine. But because
Well,
of the journey, I kept trying new things because I'm like, the thing I've been wanting to do my entire life, I'm no longer doing that. So now what
true.
I was trying
But
to do.
I think something that's really important for everyone to remember is that there are so many pieces of yourself, and you don't have to be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can literally do multiple careers. You don't have to just be one person.
Yeah.
I mean, I work part-time in a physiotherapy clinic because, like you, I love that medical background. I find it fascinating. And the rewards of helping someone benefit their own body is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, just there's no words for it.
Mm-hmm.
And those people walk out of that clinic with such relief, and they're just so thankful. And there's nothing like it. There really isn't. So, and it's the same thing with my photography, right? Like, those memories are things that people aren't, you know, you can't get back. Those moments you capture and you hold on to them, and it's part of their journey. It's part of their story, and you know, it's why I love what I do. What can I say? But
That's me. Yeah. The funny thing is, though, no matter what industry you're in, there's always going to be, hello everybody, if there's more people logging on, there's always going to be doubt that, is this what I'm supposed to do with my life, right? So that's what I had to work through. And I finally got to a place where I'm like, I'm technically doing 3 things, but I finally feel like I've hit my groove now that I'm 36 and like after 18 years of trying to figure it out. So I'm still doing cakes and I'm still doing marketing and I'm still like helping people build websites and all, like, but I love the variety and throwing the acting in there because I hate sitting still, and maybe that's why I have 5 children. But
yeah, well, that's one way to stay on your feet all the time. Yeah, no, but that self-doubt and that self-deprecating comes no matter what you do. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Joy Marketing. I did a seminar with her and she said head trash. And that stuck with me. You get so much head trash, the garbage piles up in there because, you know, there is always the chance that something could go wrong in any scenario.
We're live.
You know, and, right? Like, I just changed locations and I'm hating this because I'm a photographer going, I need a fill light right here because that's driving me crazy.
Oh God. I know, lives scare me, which is probably why I haven't done them in a couple of years. I used to have to do live television when I did the series.
I remember your Rogers TV moments.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I've had a cake company for 16 years, and I had a monthly teaching segment on daytime TV. When they first started doing the show, it was live. So talk about like panic attacks. Like, this is back in like my mid-20s, and I have to like create these like intricate things on live television within I think it was like a 7-minute time frame. And for those of you who don't know about cake decorating, this stuff isn't quick. So I would have to make sure that I had planned out everything to the last T and have like specific things to a certain point so I could keep showing the steps. And literally the entire time we were live, I'm like, okay, like we gotta go. And the host would be like talking to me, and I'm like be trying to get the thing done while she's talking to me. And sometimes it wouldn't finish, so then we'd have to like bring me on like at the end of the show to like show the finished product. So lives actually scare me, but here I am. Hello.
Yeah, I mean, that's every scenario, right? Not everything goes right. Well, think about, like, I've photographed weddings for years,
yeah.
And So many things can be like, that is why people panic on their wedding day, you know? Does everybody have the rings? Where's the cake topper? Where do the flowers go? You know, like, where's the boutonnieres? Come on. Like, there's a panic
Yeah.
all the time, but everything always ends up fine.
Mm-hmm.
It all smoothly in the end. Right.
Yeah, I learned a mantra from Jim Fortin this year. Everything always has been, is now, and always will be. Yeah.
Sorry. My friend Kelly just joined.
That's okay. I've been doing that along too. Like, if you see me, like, it's because I'm saying hello to people.
I'm pretty bad at the whole live thing because I haven't actually seen everyone who's come on. So.
That's okay.
But good morning, everyone who I missed.
Yeah, my theme this week on my profile is actually get over being perfect. And that's not to say that you're going to relapse on those moments of thinking that you're imperfect, because I've been at this for a while and I still have those moments where like I'm internally talking trash to myself and I have to catch myself and like, no, stop it. But I had to work a lot harder at that because if you remember, I had an eating disorder for like 10 years.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah. Wow, that feels like an entire lifetime ago, actually.
And the triggers are still there. When I was acting like 3 years ago, an independent film company brought me in for an audition. They were going to give me the role, but then they came back and they're like, we pictured the hero thinner. And that sent that trigger back. And I had to, again, work through that crap. But I think when you learn the tools of just being able to work through that crap and you keep working at it, you can pull yourself out of it quicker.
Oh, absolutely. This is actually one of the reasons why I've started working with women before and after they have their babies. So, I mean, I do the whole journey with them, but I have done boudoirs for people before when they were trying to get pregnant. And they, you know, people said to me, they said, I just want to remember my body the way it is now before it changes forever.
Yeah.
And then I've now implemented doing the boudoir post-pregnancy for those people who remember how beautiful their body is. It's a struggle that all women and men have. Sometimes men actually have it worse, just in different ways than we do. But yeah, so it's something that I've started doing, and I'm getting pretty good feedback about, you know, women want to know that they are beautiful no matter what stage of their life they're in, you know, inside and out.
Yeah, I think the thing is we need to get over this concept that there's this perfect type of body. That's the media putting into everybody's head that this is how you're supposed to look. And that was half the trigger of why I started an eating disorder. I felt like I had to be super thin to fit in, to be cool, to be liked. And that's not the case at all. And subconsciously it got built in there, like I need to be thinner to be liked and liked and liked. And eventually you get...
Well, I mean, the industry that you're in also can drive to that depending on what director is looking for. Like you said, you ended up in a situation where they wanted you to be a specific body type that you just didn't fit, right? And I think as an actress, you need to make that choice whether or not, you know, you're willing to change your form in order to fit the role, or whether or not you go out and you only seek the roles that are fitting what you already have, right? And that is a hard thing. I mean, you see the people in action films and you know, sequences where they have to build their body weight up and build muscle, and then as soon as they stop, then you end up having, because that all converts back to fats, and then you've got all this, you know, it is this crazy balance, or people having to lose a ton of weight for a specific role, and then struggling to gain themselves back, or they yo-yo back and forth. And it's really hard on your body, really hard on your body.
I think the other thing though too is that it's not just in our industry, it's like everywhere. Like anybody now is subjected to this, I want to say bullying or some judgment when they post online. It's anybody, because I see so many videos popping up on TikTok where somebody made some comment about somebody's body and it upset them. And I think where we need to work on getting to is that you need to be okay with yourself no matter what. And that doesn't mean you have relapse moments where you're internally beating yourself up. It means you can pull yourself out of them quicker. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Self-doubt is so hard. And when you have had past psychological, back falls with things like that, it's just like any kind of issue, whether or not you have an alcohol problem or a drug abuse problem, eating disorders or anything like that is also the same. It's one of those things where you can always relapse, but you don't have to. Yeah. Right. And self-love has to come first.
Yeah. And I love that we both work in an industry where we can kind of start to normalize different body types.
Absolutely. I am we refer to ourselves as the skinniest fat person you'll know. Because I have, I had this struggle where when I was younger, I got very ill and I had trouble gaining the weight. Mm-hmm. So I'm in a constant state of trying to build those calories. Mm-hmm. And I want to eat healthy, fatty foods and stuff like that, and, still be able to work out regularly the way I want to and everything. By the way, chin-ups, ouch. Okay? It's all your fault that I started trying to do them. And it's hilarious because I get maybe a half a chin-up more a day. And I'm like, oh, I can't do it.
Okay, so backstory for what Lee's talking about. I started chin-ups about 2 months ago. And I have this goal to get up to doing like 10 chin-ups. I had it, but my goal was to do it by Christmas, but then I injured my back, so I'm still working at it. So I told Leanne, like, this is how I'm building these back muscles, if you've seen my stories. Mm-hmm. So I guess she started doing chin-ups.
It's okay. It's taken me a week to get to 3. Okay, so the upper body strength, like I carry around like 30 pounds in camera gear when I'm shooting, but that didn't seem to that only gets you about here. When you actually have to physically pull your whole weight above that, no way. Totally different ball game. Let me tell you, jeez.
That's amazing. But good for you for trying.
Thank you. We're on a 30-day challenge. So right now I'm doing sit-ups, push-ups, planks, wall sits, and chin-ups. And then I do yoga as well. So
Devin's here. Hey, Devin.
Hey, Dev. My goodness, long time no see.
Rimshaw, is this the first time on live, my friend? Is that one of your friends?
Yes. Sorry, what did I miss from that?
Bye, Santo. Have a good day. Santo's leaving.
Hi.
Yeah, so what else do I want to ask you? Your best advice you could give your younger self.
Oh, wow. You loaded question.
I sent these ahead of time. Come on.
No, well, did you? Because I was actually looking for your questions and I couldn't find them. Be brave. Honestly, that is probably the biggest thing. I remember holding myself back from certain things because I was nervous. I was scared or worried about other people's judgments. And that's ridiculous because you're never going to please everybody. And you have to love yourself first, which is half of what we've talked about today. Mm-hmm. And that was, yeah, that would be brave. Just be bold and go out there. Like if I had made, like I wish I'd made more connections when I was in school taking my courses and everything, and really gotten to know my professors even deeper than what I did, because they were already in the industry. They already knew things. They already knew people. They could grow you both personally and professionally. And I remember even in high school when we did Carpe Diem kickoffs, you know, I was afraid to go and be a part of that because there were so many people, and what if you made a fool of yourself and things like that. And it's just ridiculous. Especially, me from being, my old nickname used to be friend on the end. Where I sat quietly at the end of the table. That is not me, and anyone who knows me or has met me or grown to know me is like, pardon? Because I'm an extroverted introvert. So so you would never know it.
Yeah.
But,
like, you can hold your own in a crowd, but you totally need like your me time and to like go hide. Yes.
exactly. You need your coffee before you talk. So,
I actually drink coffee. I don't know why I named this coffee chat. I figured it'd be
okay. So that was really funny. I was sitting here this morning going, okay, I've known her for over 20 years. I've never seen her drink a coffee. And I'm like,
coffee.
does she even like coffee? I was like, it hasn't been that long since I saw her last.
I like coffee that doesn't taste like coffee, but no, this is orange juice.
So I call it fancy coffee. That's my jam. So when COVID hit and lockdown happened the first time and I was stuck at home for a couple of months,
Yeah.
I bit the bullet and I bought a Keurig. Now, I am anti-garbage, and, especially after spending 10 days in Africa dealing with the fact that they don't have a system there, and I really, really wish we could implement one. But I got the green cup, so that you can put your own coffee in it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't deal with not being able to have at least a caramel latte a week.
Yeah.
And I love my sugar. So I bought the bottle of the mix, and then I got the coffee bag, and so I could make it myself. Because I have only started drinking coffee in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's still mostly cream, and almond cream anyway. You don't need more sugar that way, and it's delicious and better for me because I have a lactose issue.
No, I get that. Yeah. Oh, lactose issues. I've developed one now that I'm 36. Like, fun. No lactose issues my entire life. And hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just other issues like gallstones and things like that, right?
Yeah. I've joined the club.
There you go. Welcome. Welcome to the club.
That's why I thought coffee chat is a better name. Because orange juice chat, like, who wants to chat over orange juice?
I would gladly chat about, or a glass of water. We could call it water talks.
We could. But yeah, for those of you, it's called coffee chat, but I don't actually drink coffee. My secret's out. It doesn't taste good. That's like once in a blue moon. That's like you're starting coffee and you get like a caramel macchiato with like a white chocolate shot, but I get those like maybe once a year. So yeah.
It's the treat that puts you on your butt for a week because your gut hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just Christmas for me.
Yeah. Hello, Ashwani. Hopefully I said your name right and I didn't just butcher that.
Okay, I'm sure they're all right.
I have like all these questions and I haven't barely asked you any of them. Who do you admire and why?
Who do I admire?
Yeah.
Is that a real question? Because I think I just told you it was you.
You have to pick somebody other than me. Do you have like a favorite song?
Okay, but I'm not one of those people that looks out into the outside world. I look within my own world for the people that I admire. So I don't have like an actor that I'm like, oh my God, this is, I want, or even a photographer. Like they're all so incredible, and I take different things from each of them because we're such a community of people that teach each other, right? So I learn so much from looking or talking to other people and seeing their work. But as for people I admire, people that are super close to me, and honestly, my mom.
Yeah.
She she is probably the most strong person I've ever met.
Your mom's awesome.
I saw you. She raised 5 kids. She had 2 jobs. She literally lived for her family. And there's nothing greater than that. You go out and you can live your life so large and make it about the people that you love. And I mean, I watch you do it all the time. You live for your children, right? And there's something beautiful about that. And that's a large part of why I work with families, because it's beautiful to watch their story from the moment it begins, which I'm super excited about because I'm starting to do delivery pictures.
Oh, are you?
When we get back into hospitals anyway. But I've had some requests for it, and I'm super excited.
That's amazing. Lee's like really branching out in photography this year. She's been like using it as like a side thing for so long that now we're trying to make this her main thing. Super proud of her.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah. I mean, for 16 years, well, into my 17th now, I've been photographing, but it's always been sort of part-time, never been a full-time situation. And in the last year and a half, I had to take a huge step back because of family. And that was an adventure. Yeah. I don't even know. No, it's not an adventure. It was sort of a terrifying situation. Yeah. Little backstory. My mother had a brain injury, and I helped to get her back on track and recover from that. So being a caregiver was an experience that I hope no one has to go through, but is a beautiful thing. And if you are there and you need support, I would be happy to talk to anyone, because it is an endeavor, and you do it out of love, but it doesn't mean that some of yourself doesn't get back, sent to the back of the line. And that's why over the last year and a half, like I stepped back from my business and I focused on my family. And, my mother she's great. She had brain surgery. She's, good. She's back to normal. But unfortunately, just as she was cleared, my father passed away. So it really was a giant curveball for us. And honestly, seeing my friends and my clients, half of them showed up to the visitation for my dad. It made me realize that I have built a family in my business, and that's what I want. I want to be a part of the journey. I want to be with the family from the minute they begin, and having those people show up in a time where I really, really needed them, and I needed the support, and it's made it so much easier to kind of dive back in now.
That's amazing. And it's funny because that's what I wanted to focus on this year, is just building a community, getting to know the people within my acting community. A lot of it's online right now, which is building that community, building that extended family, building those people that you get to know, because I feel like it makes the experience that much better when it's not just random faces, where you're getting to see repeat people all the time and getting to know them and see their journeys besides them following your journey. So
Absolutely. And yes, it is difficult because we don't have those physical connections right now. And I know that that's a huge challenge for all of us, but it also has shown a few doors where you can still get that time with people. And all it takes is sending a message. I have messaged quite a few of my clients, my friends, people that I was like, when was the last time I spoke to them? I'm just going to reach out and see how they're doing. It's not even about needing to get business or keep them there. It's about the fact that I want to know that they're okay, and that their life is okay, and that no one in their bubble is sick, especially after, going through my own traumas. I know that you feel alone, even though you're not.
Yeah.
but it's a circumstance that you can't describe to anyone else, right? You know, when you've gone through a grieving process, which I know you've gone through your own, everyone really has. It's one of those things that everyone grieves differently, and it's hard to. Oh, hi. Sorry. Hi, this is Hopper.
Yeah, you have to go through your own process.
Coffee.
Of course, the cat jumps in at that moment.
Yep, it was a good moment. See, they've been here for me.
Rimshot keeps talking about Nathan McKay. Sorry, Rimshot, I don't know your actual name.
Oh, yeah, yes, that's okay. His name is Bales.
Hello, Bale.
He is a local of Stratford, Ontario,
yeah.
And he is an amazing drummer. And he can literally pretty much walk into anyone's band and just start playing. So it's and I know him through a few different people. Nathan McKay, who he just mentioned here, is also a musician in the area.
Okay.
And he actually is the son of one of my dad's best friends, and who I always called Uncle Ronnie. So yeah, that's where that comes from. I live so close to Stratford, Ontario, and I get to know a lot of the art scene that is there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. We've been talking for 40 minutes. I told her like these are going to be 50 to 30, but I should have known better when we popped on because it's us.
Well, I was like, I'm just going to expect to be here for 2 hours because that's how our conversations usually go.
But we can't because Instagram times out after an hour. So
I know.
Okay. So
is there anything else you'd like to know about me?
Yeah, I think the last question I had for you is causes you love, because I know you're really big on Operation Christmas Child, and I was wondering if you wanted to talk about that for a minute.
Yes, I do. Hold on a second. So, look at that. They have new totes. So I don't know if anyone knows about Samaritan's Purse or about Operation Christmas Child, but if you don't, they hand deliver shoe boxes that we pack just before Christmas time here and get delivered to various countries around the world. It's amazing. Most of these children have never received a gift before in their life. And I had the honor of going with them a couple of years ago to Africa, to Senegal, to deliver some of these gifts to them. And what an experience. Like I have no words for what they are like. They're so beautiful. I'm just going to show you my little Africa wall here. A few images that I have from being there. Those are just a couple, but yeah, I took my camera, I documented the whole trip, and I actually submitted all the images to them so that they could use them. They're a nonprofit. They're all over the world, and they do such great work. It's not just the Operation Christmas Child boxes. They have water projects. Some of the people that I traveled with had been on multiple missions with them, and you know, it's such a good cause. Look into it if you can.
Yeah, I will post a link to it when I repost this video.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, it's I think, like, I had always wanted to do something like that. I'd always wanted to go somewhere and do something that was helpful and, you know, building a community of some kind with, you know, people that needed it. One of the most amazing parts of that trip for me was going into a compound where they had literally sectioned off a plot of land and hadn't touched it for 10 years in the desert. So it literally just desert. And leaving it alone and not having any human contact with it for 10 years allowed plant life to actually grow up out of the sand.
That's crazy.
So it was insane. So when they went back in, they cultivated that land. They ended up turning it into food for the community. So then they would bring students there to learn horticulture and about how the system works. And it was just amazing. It was so amazing. I tasted the best carrot I have ever had directly from the ground.
Yeah.
That had been desert. It was,
because it hadn't been touched with pesticides and manipulated and yeah.
Oh, not at all. And the best part is that they were feeding their communities, right? So the whole idea was that they taught these people how to feed themselves, and then they took that knowledge back to their own little villages and were able to grow their food so that they could support their community. And it was amazing. It was so cool. And yeah, I just, it makes me want to have a garden. And I have a little apartment right now, so that's not a thing. But
feed my garden anytime.
I'll come use yours. I have no green thumb whatsoever. But in fact, my cats eat every plant that I try to bring into this house. So,
God.
Joy of pets, right?
That is true. You do have to keep things away from them. Yeah. So I will post the link to what Leanne was talking about. When I repost this video for Operation Christmas Child, you do this every year, right? You don't go to Africa every year, but you help them every year.
Africa every year. I mean, aside from this year, obviously I didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to do it, but every year I host mini sessions, Christmas mini, and proceeds go to, portions of proceeds go to delivering shoe boxes. So I will pack a shoe box for every single family that comes to me.
Okay.
So it's a passion project of mine, and if I do travel somewhere again, I definitely want to be a part of their water project.
Yeah.
Because bringing clean water to communities we are built so much of water, and when people can't get it, that's very sad.
That's one thing that we've granted here in Canada is we have access to water, just go and turn on a tap, and it's such a vital thing that so many people actually don't have. So
yeah, well, and I think I learned to be humble, really, with being able, I am now so conservative about how much water I use and the garbage that I put out, because I spent 10 days in Senegal, and they had squat toilets and whatever. I had trouble going to the bathroom when I got home.
God.
Literally, because the proper way is for all of your intestines is that you squat.
Yeah.
Right? Because it naturally flows out just like babies. Mm-hmm. If you were on all fours, it comes out more naturally. According to the biological system, anyway. I don't personally have any children yet, but aside from my fur babies.
I get it.
See, I knew you would. Actually, it's funny. I was talking about birth with my mother yesterday. I'm not really sure how we got on the conversation, but you did come up in the conversation because of how short your deliveries went.
Oh God, yeah.
They kept being cut half and half and half, and you almost had the last one in an elevator, I think.
Elevators, cars, come on, who needs a hospital?
Right? Anyway, we really know how to do a million topics in 5 minutes.
In the standard coffee chat, people, for those of you logging on who haven't been here the entire time, Lee's been a best friend of mine for 21 years. So this isn't your standard Q&A coffee chat. This is just...
No, this is 20 years of we know a lot of things about each other, and if you have questions, feel free
to tell us if you're confused.
Yeah, and I'm a what is kind of person, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's actually my new slogan, by the way. I photograph what is, because I'm sort of a lifestyle, photographer.
Last question before Instagram kicks us off.
Yes.
Do you have tips for people about taking good photographs when they can't have a photographer with them?
Well, photographing is all about light. So if you notice, I moved to a different spot and got really annoyed with my light because I had this lovely shadow on me.
Yeah.
And natural light, I love to work with natural light if I can, opposed to any other kind. Currently, I'm actually using a little light that is a natural light because it was really dark when we started. So, talk about early morning. No, just kidding. But yeah, so I can move because now the sun is up, and this is even better, right? Because it's fully a natural light coming from a window, and it's even, and you can see me very clearly, and my skin looks nice this morning.
Shadow lighting, where like you get like shadows on one side of the base for dramatic lighting. With
exactly. So if you're to turn,
yeah,
all of a sudden you've got shadow,
yeah,
right? But here, hey, right? So it really is about working with the lighting situation you've got and where you are.
Yeah.
And I would say that is your top thing that you need to think about. And I mean, phone cameras have gone, wow, like
they're crazy,
insane. There's so many features we do now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the iPhone 12, it shoots RAW now. I have no idea what that fully means, but I know it's good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to play with that because, like, I use my big camera for raw situations. Yeah. Obviously, my big camera. That's what I always call it. It's my phone and my big camera. Technical term, you say.
Yeah, so camera.
I'm a camera girl, if anybody cares. I've tried them all. I tried Nikon, but and Pentax and all those. I've tried Sony. I've done it all, but I love my Canons. I just keep coming back to Canon.
Yeah, I have a Pentax digital, a Canon old school one that I used to do for yearbook photography back in the day.
Oh, those days! I love that we both started in yearbook.
Does anybody remember actually using actual film?
I do.
Yes.
When I started, I was using film, which I think I just dated myself. But yes, I started using film, and that is a totally different animal.
Yeah. Spending
hours in a dark room creating prints. I do like being able to send it to the printer. I'm not going to lie. 8 hours on one print, or just send it to a printer. Yeah.
So tip number 1 is make sure your lighting's key. Tip number 2, I think, for composition. What would you think for composition?
Composition. Well, I mean, think about the rule of thirds, if anyone's ever heard that or taken an art class, because it changes the entire image. Yeah. So, I mean, right now, I'm centered, right?
Bring it down.
Jen, if you move that way.
This way?
Yep, right. Oh, a little bit less. There you go. Now we're also using the rule of thirds. You've got all this negative space on the far side, but it's still beautiful and it leads into you, right? Yeah. So, rule of thirds. Always think about it.
So lighting.
1, 2, 3.
And then the last one is just interesting angles, right? Like perspective.
That's actually really funny because I joined this 52 frames challenge. I actually have to do today, but it was basically just to keep us inspired because a lot of photographers are sitting at home. 50% of the revenue is gone already for next year, and they're a little bit stressed out. So it was to keep our creative juices going, and it's kind of fun. So they have different challenges. So this week is get low. Oh wow! So yeah, so it's all about perspective. So that's really funny that you just said that. So yeah, it depends obviously on what it is that you're trying to convey. But, you know, if you are, say, photographing a lion, it's a powerful animal, right? You want it to look big and it's the king, right? So you might want to get low. What?
I said if you are photographing a lion, be careful.
Yeah, use a very long lens. Just kidding.
Photographing lions, just so you know.
Yeah, not generally. Usually it's like babies and families. And people expecting, but yeah, no, if you wanted to do that, you might want to get low so that you can shoot up at it to make it look
Yeah. And
epic,
cool too for doing, like, I see so many accounts that do just selfie after selfie after selfie. And for an Instagram growth tip, when you have photos that just look the same all the time, not to say that your branding can't look the same, like you can have like certain colors in your photos that look the same. You can have like a feel to your account that is the same, but when you have like the same selfie over and over and over again, people tend to not want to follow that because you're just repeating the same thing. So when you get perspective and change your selfie up, like if I did something like this and I had something behind me that was interesting, right?
Yeah.
I'm not like,
you point it up like this, like, hey. Yeah. That changes it.
Yeah. If you're the person that you're constantly doing selfies, switch them up and get some different perspective and put some more interesting things in the frame with you. And as Lee was saying, you can try different heights of photos.
Well, I mean, the big popular selfie is to, hold it up and look down because it is the most flattering for people. But if you do that same pose over and over and over and over and over again, like you said, people are just going to flip past and be like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Next. Right.
And not to say that your selfies aren't beautiful. It's just trying to grow your Instagram account. The way to do that is by
for marketing purposes, it's not going to be super helpful.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
by the way, thank you for using the pictures that I took with you this year to promote these coffee chats. I felt very honored.
Yeah. So any of the photos you've been seeing me run with the coffee chats and stuff, and the majority of the photos now that are coming out that I'm using for my marketing, Lee did. So. And I have to rebook her for some of her photos when we're not in COVID lockdowns. But yeah, Lee is a really fabulous photographer. If you are in Ontario, please look her up.
If you're not in Ontario, I will travel when allowed.
Thanks for walking this entire time. It just told me I hit my goal.
Woo, yay!
Arms.
I have not hit my goal. I've got goodness. I've got 9,000 more steps to go today. Plus, I haven't done my workout yet. So
yeah, I was just thinking it's funny because I haven't actually left my seat. So apparently, I just talked.
Yeah, sometimes I try to go over what it says here because that doesn't.
Yeah.
If you move your arms a lot, it doesn't really count.
All right. So,
my friend Kelly just came on. Yoga with Kels. She just started this brand new business and she's phenomenal. And I am hoping to actually do her, I think it's an 8 o'clock or 8:30 tonight. Anyway, little plug for my friend Kelly. She's got a great line of clothing coming out and everything. So, yeah.
Instagram, I think they time out at 60 minutes. I just want to make sure, does anyone have any questions for us crazy people talking to you currently before we leave?
Boring you probably with all of our chit chat.
We got thumbs up and claps.
Nice. Thank you. Our first ever coffee chat.
Yeah.
This is going to be a great experience for Jen, and I'm so proud of her for
I promise.
hitting the go button on this.
Any other coffee chat guests that are coming on, I promise I won't talk to you for 60 minutes. Again, it's Lee, and she's one of my best friends, and we ramble on each other.
Sorry, it's my fault. My fault. We can ramble about anything and go in circles and random topics, and just that's what we should do the next time we do this. Put a random topic in the comments, and then just we'll have to ramble about it for a couple of minutes.
Oh,
that would be fun.
did you see Dev's comment? You two are awesome.
I miss you too, Dev. Sorry, who else commented? I'm gonna have to go back and look at all the comments because
Devin is like a friend of ours from high school. We've known him forever.
Yeah.
But he's no longer in the province, so we don't get to see him that often.
Yeah.
My kids still refer to you, Devin, as the very tall person. Really in the bits I managed to see. Awesome. I will be posting the replay of this on my profile, so make sure to look for that if you want to catch any of the things we've been talking about. And I will be trying to pull like little snippets out of it just for more bite-sized stuff.
Nice.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have to talk about.
Well, I mean, we could talk for days, so we should probably end somewhere.
Honest. Super awesome, Jennifer. Thank you. Okay, well, if you have any other questions, you can always leave them below the video that I'm reposting and tag Lee. I'll make sure to put her profile username in the comments so that you know who to tag. And yeah, thanks so much. And I will see you when I see you, and I will see the rest of you coffee chat.
It was so good to see you. Miss you tons. I can't wait till we can actually physically hug again.
Right?
I'm a hugger.
All right, bye guys. Bye Lee.
Bye.